Welcome to the Senior Safety Advice Podcast, your trusted source for expert guidance on aging safely and independently. Whether you're a caregiver, a family member, or a senior looking to stay secure at home and beyond, we've got you covered. From fall prevention and home modifications to financial safety and scam awareness, we provide practical tips to help you or your loved ones live with confidence. Tune in and empower yourself with the knowledge you need to navigate the challenges of aging. Let's make safety simple.
Welcome to the Senior Safety Advice Podcast, where we tackle the real-life challenges facing older adults and their families. Today's episode is all about a topic that's as sensitive as it is important: senior driving safety, when to hand over the keys. Whether you're a senior driver, a concerned family member, or a professional working with older adults, this episode is packed with insights and practical advice to help you navigate this crucial transition. Let's start with some numbers, because the statistics tell a story that's both inspiring and sobering. Seniors are staying on the road longer than ever. In fact, as of 2025, nearly 22% of all U.S. drivers are age 65 or older, a number that's steadily rising as the population ages. By 2030, the number of Americans age 70 and older is expected to reach 53 million. Now here is the good news. Contrary to popular stereotypes, seniors are not the most dangerous drivers on the road. Drivers aged 25 to 34 are nearly 7 times more likely to be involved in an accident than those aged 75 and above. Seniors tend to be cautious, experienced, and law-abiding behind the wheel. But, and there's always a but, age brings challenges. Diminishing eyesight, slower reaction times, and increased physical fragility means that when seniors are involved in accidents, the outcome can be more severe. In 2022 alone, nearly 8,000 people aged 65 and older lost their lives in traffic accidents, and over 268,000 were injured. Drivers over age 70 have higher crash death rates per 1,000 crashes than middle-aged drivers, primarily because they're more vulnerable to injury. Let's pause for a second and talk about what driving really means. For most of us, getting our driver's license was a rite of passage, a symbol of independence. For older adults, holding on to those keys is just as significant. It's about freedom, spontaneity, and staying connected to the world. Dr. Louise Aronson, a professor of geriatrics, puts it bluntly: taking away the keys can be absolutely detrimental to a senior's health. Losing the ability to drive can lead to social isolation, depression, and even a decline in physical health. In fact, studies have shown social isolation in older adults is as risky as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. So when we talk about senior driving safety, we're not just talking about cars and roads. We're also talking about dignity, autonomy, and quality of life. Recognizing the signs and knowing when is it time to hand over the keys is the multi-million-dollar question, and there's no one-size-fits-all answer. Some people are sharp and capable drivers well into their 90s, while others may need to stop much earlier. The key is to watch for red flags and have honest and ongoing conversations. Here are some common warning signs: frequent close calls, dents or scrapes on the car, getting lost on familiar routes, difficulty seeing road signs or traffic signals, slow responses to unexpected situations, confusing the gas and brake pedals, increased anxiety or nervousness when driving, or friends and family expressing concerns. It's important to note that older adults are often poor judges of their own driving ability. Caregivers and family members who have observed their driving firsthand are usually better at spotting problems. Certain medical conditions can also affect driving safety. Dementia or memory loss is one. So are vision problems like cataracts or macular degeneration. Parkinson's disease and other movement disorders are also a concern, as well as side effects from medications. Even some common pain relievers can increase crash risk by up to 58%. If you're unsure, consult a professional driving assessment, which can evaluate both physical and cognitive abilities. How about having the conversation? Here are some tips for families. Let's be honest, talking to a loved one about giving up driving can feel like walking through a minefield. It's emotional, it's personal, and it can trigger feelings of loss and frustration for both you and your loved one. Here are some tips to make the conversation a little smoother. Start early. Don't wait for an accident or a close call. Begin the conversation before problems arise so it doesn't feel like an ambush. Be respectful. Acknowledge how important driving is to the person. Use I statements like "I am concerned about your safety" rather than you statements like "you shouldn't be driving." Involve the person. Ask for their perspective. How do they feel about their driving? Have they noticed any changes? Focus on safety. Frame the discussion around safety for them and others. Would they feel comfortable letting their children or their grandchildren ride with them? And offer alternatives. Don't just take away the keys. Have a plan for how they'll get around if that happens. Remember, this isn't a one-time conversation. It's a process. And sometimes it helps to bring in a neutral third party like a doctor or a driving rehabilitation specialist. Here are some tips for senior drivers for staying safe behind the wheel. There are steps you can take to stay confident and safe on the road. First of all, have regular vision and hearing checks. Make sure glasses and hearing aids are up to date. Stay physically active, because flexibility and strength can help with turning the wheel and checking blind spots. Know your medications and talk to your doctor about side effects that could impact driving. Take a refresher course. Many organizations, such as AAA, offer senior driving courses that cover updated road rules and defensive driving techniques. And drive during safe conditions. Stick to the daylight hours, avoid driving during bad weather, and choose familiar routes. When it's time, here's how to make the transition. Loss of driving can feel overwhelming, but it doesn't have to mean losing independence. You can take alternative transportation, such as rideshare services. Uber and Lyft are increasingly senior-friendly with options for riders who need extra assistance. Public transportation in many cities offer discounted or free rides for seniors. Senior shuttles from community centers, churches, and senior organizations often provide door-to-door transportation for shopping, appointments, and social events. There are volunteer driver programs where local volunteers might offer rides for errands and medical visits. And don't underestimate the power of family and friends. It's a good idea to try out these alternatives before giving up the keys completely. That way the transition feels less abrupt and more empowering. So now let's talk about the role of professionals, doctors, therapists, and assessors. Healthcare providers play a crucial role in senior driving safety. Doctors can screen for red flags, refer patients for driving assessments, and provide guidance on when it's time to stop driving. Occupational therapists with specialized training can conduct comprehensive evaluations, including vision, cognition, and reaction time. If you're a professional, remember, start the conversation early. Link it to preventive health and always ask yourself, would I accept a ride from this person? Now let's address the emotional impact. Let's not sugarcoat it. Retiring from driving can be tough. It's normal to grieve the loss of independence, but it's also an opportunity to explore new ways to stay active, connected, and engaged. Encourage seniors to join local clubs or groups, volunteer in the community, take up new hobbies, and stay physically and socially active. The goal is to replace the sense of loss with a sense of purpose. So let's wrap up with some key points. Senior drivers are among the safest on the road, but physical and cognitive changes can increase the risk of severe injuries in crashes. The decision to stop driving is deeply personal and should be approached with empathy, respect, and planning. Watch for warning signs and involve professionals when needed. Explore alternative transportation options before the need becomes urgent. Stay connected because social isolation is a serious health risk. And remember that giving up the keys doesn't mean giving up independence. If you're facing this decision, either for yourself or for a loved one, know that you're not alone. Millions of families are navigating this same journey. With open communication, planning, and support, it's possible to make the transition with dignity and grace. So thanks for joining us today on the Senior Safety Advice Podcast. If you found this episode helpful, please share it with your friends and family. Until next time, drive safe, and thanks for listening. Take care. Bye.
That's it for today's episode of the Senior Safety Advice Podcast, helping you and your loved ones stay safe, independent, and informed. If you found this episode helpful, be sure to subscribe and share it with others who could benefit. For more expert tips and resources, visit seniorsafetyadvice.com. And remember, staying safe starts with staying informed. Until next time, take care and stay safe.